So we want to cut that person out of the car, but we also want to avoid any movement in the car. So we put in our step blocks and we take any movement out of suspension. Now as we've wandered around, we've identified this car might have an undeployed airbag. Now, we're just going to pretend it has an undeployed airbag. These days, a lot of cars with all their safety features with airbags, supplementary restraint systems, seatbelt retentioners, all these curtain airbags are great for the driver's safety, but they can also cause harm to us, the rescuers. So we have a various techniques. We'll get in, we put this thing on called octopus. Basically, it's a big padded strap that goes over the steering wheel, and if the airbag happens to go off, it's actually restrained behind that octopus. Likewise, we'll actually open the bonnet. We'll open the bonnet, and if there's any undeployed supplementary restraint systems, we'll get in and we'll cut those leads. Look at the RMS guys, give us a little curtain of water while we cut this. So at this point we've put a little curtain of water up. If we're going to be cutting a lead, we don't want it sparks to ignite in the tube. So working together, we cut that lead. Normally it takes about 30 seconds for the capacitor to discharge, and that car is now safe. Alright, we would normally be working very closely with police and ambulance. Police have control of this incident, and we basically report to those. The ambulance would come in, their primary concern is patient care, and one of our most important things to get access for our ambulance officers is to start treating and stabilising our patients. With a lot of modern cars, we now have these crumple zones. In a high impact collision, the crumple zones take a lot of energy out of the car. But we also, as rescuers, find that a lot of these new cars have what we call a jump line. This is where the gap between the doors are all compressed. So the guys will actually create a gap and get the tool in. You'll notice where the guys are working, we also have a soft plastic sheet. This is patient protection so that there's nothing will fly off and hit our patient. It's also there to help protect the ambulance officers who are normally inside the vehicle.
Watching very closely the work there as they're going on both sides there. The leader's sitting in the front seat there, and the head's going to the passenger side to the front side. I can assure you, it's going to get a lot of noise in there, and it can be very frightening, it can be very scary. It's not in an accident, in a real accident, this is what it counts. Because a lot of times you won't see what's happening, and has a bit more caring concern to the patient themselves. And the patient at all times is sort of out before any step or operation is taken there. Yeah, it certainly is. Our rescue operators and the ambulance officers constantly talking to the patient. So if we're about to pop a door voice, without bang. So there is no surprises. Now the guys slowly working down. Doors aren't meant to easily pop open. So with modern car design, the native is there to hold the door closed. In a motor vehicle accident, and we've certainly locked these doors before we started, they're very hard to open. So we can work our way down with the hydraulic spreaders and get access to the native end, and you'll see Matt coming with the cutters, and he'll cut away that end. For those who are interested in a bit of mechanics, the system we use, we have a 12.5 kVA generator built into the truck on the other side. That generator powers then our hydraulics, so we use electric over hydraulics to then work the tool. Now for this simulation, our ambulance officers want that door moved.
so they can get in and fully assess the patient. So at this point, we want to take that door off. Now the guys on this side are going to do it using a common technique. We're going to make a gap to expose the actual nuts that hold the door on, and I'll basically use the brace and take the nuts off and remove the door.
Through the whole lot of this while it's all going on as well, much as they're doing their work, you'll notice that the RFS is at the site there, and they're still standing there with their hoses. Now the idea for them to be there is not just to stand there for the sake. You've got the rest of the RFS crew that is up towards the back, up there in that one itself, and they're also keeping an eye on this, because if this is an accident, there is a real concern. You've got units, you've got fuel, you've got all that laying around, that sparks could happen, and they're watching out at any sign or indication, just the same as the SES operators themselves are doing their role in the case of whoever is responsible, and if they've got to pull through, which makes it a bit of issue for them, they're also watching all the work that is going on at all times. Everybody is watching everybody's back. One good thing in road crashes, it's very much teamwork. You'll see very close teamwork between the police, the ambulance, the SES and the RFS. And as a team, we all work together on getting that patient out in as best conditions we can. Now you see on this side the guys have got the door all open. They're going to take the whole door off by spreading it to each point and actually spread the hinges off the car. One of the interesting parts, Dave, it's been a little while since the last couple of years before we had one of the girls who were working with the team, because girls, male, female, it doesn't matter. The fact is, when it comes to this sort of work, to be at this brigade, we've got one of the girls doing it, we all know how heavy doors are and things like that, but they have to be able to do the same rate of work regardless of whether it's male or female. Exactly right, Vicky. There's no discrimination between the fellas and the girls. Everybody has to operate the tools, work together. And look, I must admit, you know, even I lose a bit of energy holding our rescue tool for 20 minutes. So, no, it is actually hard work for all of us. Certainly it's a great way, and remember they are all volunteers, whether it be the SES or whether it be the RFS. We've got 21 brigades right throughout the Hawkesbury, and volunteers are always welcome. And to become a volunteer, you might see the SES side, because we think about it more for the floods, the storms, things like that. But in actual fact, the road safety side is another one, and our SES is one of the busiest, and yourself, Dave, even down in Redvale and things like that. Not the best of positions to be in. Exactly right, Vicky. Our rescue operators can be sent anywhere in the state to help in an incident. But they're trained to become a member of the road crash team. There's a good 2 years of training before they're allowed on the road. And at that side we have 25 new recruits over at the headquarters at the moment starting their training. So in another couple of years we may see those also on the road. It's a very tough training schedule that they have to go through, but it is essential for the requirement. That's why also the SES has won so many awards as being the best in Australia. And that makes your chest bleed through pride every time. I know Kevin does as well.
Yes, mate. We do like to go out and actually compete around the country, and the team has been in many national and international competitions, and done fairly well. So back onto the job, the guys have removed the front door and back door. If this was a real job, the ambulance officers would be in, stabilising our patient, they'd be setting up fluids, they'd be doing a full assessment to find out what sort of injuries our patient has. In many motor vehicle accidents, the whole dash could be down on the lap of the person, which would require special techniques to lift the dash away from the patient. With this job, our ambulance officers are expecting a spinal injury. So once we've got the doors on, the technique that we're going to use is a roof flap. And this roof flap we're going to do is what we call a backward roof flap.
you're certainly going to see some of the different sides of this. One of the things I get Dave to give you a mention about too is one of the things, how's the Sabrina going there? Yes, he is. Now, poor patient. How are you feeling there, Sabrina? And that's not just water. She looks around to see. It can be very frightening, and it can be something which you don't want to experience. But doing this sort of side, it's so important to do. Now, just while Dave's just going around to check those sides and do a double check safety test around to make sure. One of the parts that a lot of people, and I've had it happen whereabouts at different accidents, and that's where we go, and people say, oh, you're all right in there. Come on, why don't you turn around and go in? Because yes, Mike, he's standing back, standing around. The RFS is there, standing around. So they're safe, they said, we're all standing around there doing enough, but why not just pull the girl straight out of it? There is a good reason as to why everybody may stand back. Yeah, exactly right. Again, the focus is on the patient. So it could be the local ambulance said the injury's so bad that we need to bring in a trauma helicopter. So a helicopter with a doctor on board could land nearby, and they'll come in and actually do some more advanced techniques to keep the person alive before we actually do the patient out. While they're sitting in the car, they're nice and stable, they're safe, and our medical practitioners can actually work and ensure that person comes out in best condition. You'll see over this side, we've actually removed all the pillars. Depending on the injury, we could have just wound the seat back, put a rescue board or a spine board in, and got that person out. The technique the guys are going to use now is a roof lap. So essentially, the two teams are now cutting what we call a relief cut. So that's the point that the roof is going to use.
Sorry, I'll move in a second.
They'll then go through and cut the various pillars, and in one neat move, we'll actually fold this whole roof back. Great way to do it is let Dave have his check around there. In the meantime, the RFS, of course, they are doing their job, just watching around as per like they have to do. Again, keeping an eye out, and this goes on right through the whole lot of it. We've got the bar there they need, so that'll be ready. And of course, our patient getting covered there a little bit while they do around. And this car did have the glass removed prior, so it made it a little bit easier, but normally it's not those big bits of glass, it's those little bits of glass that splint around everywhere. It is one of these things we would do if this was a real car accident. We actually work with the tempered glass. Tempered glass will explosively pop out and send small shards of glass everywhere. We have a special technique. We have a glass management kit, and we'll actually put plastic sheeting on the glass and then pop the glass and bring it out in one big panel. Yes. You'll notice the bar the guys have put at the back. We call this the atom bar. That gives us a point to crease the roof and allow the roof to fold up over the bar. Now the key thing here is we've now created a lot of hazards. Everywhere we've cut is a very sharp edge. Either the rescue operators or the ambulance or the patient can cut themselves. So at this point we go through and we cover all of our shafts. We either use Kevlar material, or we use the good old drainage pipes which have been cut down and they slip over all the sharp edges. Alright, at this point we now focus on our patient. How's our patient going? She's all good. Now, because this person has a some form of spinal injury, normally the ambulance officer would put the person in an extraction device and have a collar on. But for this simulation, we're just going to slide the seat back
put a rescue board in underneath her and bring her out on that board.
That's usually a better angle.
So now, again, while this is all going on, we've got somebody, one of the officers is working away there. They're always talking to the patient, telling them every single step that's going to happen. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. You always get aware, provided the patient is conscious with me, but they are also at the same time advising us, so they are aware at all times as to what's going to happen. And that can be one of the hard parts, can't it, Dave? Because whether it be a mum, a dad, or in the worst case a child, it's so very hard to try and comfort somebody who is in already a state of shock anyway.
Oh, it is, and that's the one of the challenges for all the volunteers. They get to do some pretty horrible jobs, but they've always got the attitude to get in and do their best. They maintain a good contact with the patient, and they work very professionally, especially at this stage. I mean, we don't let the guard down. We've done all the hard work. We don't want that all to go astray, just getting the patient out. So at this point, under the guidance of the ambulance officers, many hands, we slide our patient out, and again, avoiding any sudden movements which could exacerbate their injuries.
So they do is they go to line out. Remember, they are a volunteer organisation. If you want to join the SES, or if you want to join the RFS, have a talk to them, find out about where to go to their meeting. Again, they bring the patient over to a point right away.